Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishop of Great Millstone, who rule well and teaching us the truth 100% securely. And I'd like to give a salutation to the men out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And also I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to show thyself approved. Alright, Shalom. So, this is another quick lesson by the brother Amawan Gabar, where he titled it Dream/Vision of, let me see, get the full title. You know, definitely watch and subscribe and be edified, right? So the full title of this lesson is Dream/Vision of Military Patrol and Shipping Station, This Will Come to Pass, okay? And so, the brother, I haven't even finished reading this lesson. It was already good from the start. So the brother was actually reading a dream that a hopeful elect woman had, all right, and he basically had it on a letter. And so I wanted to add to the you know, the message that the brother was saying, because he was basically saying that the lady had a dream that she had got forced to the post office. Okay, and that prompted me to do a quick research, okay, on how the post office would be utilized during the time of crisis. So, because you know what I type in the Google search, and it pretty much, you know, lines up perfectly with the dream that the hopefully lady had. Okay, so before I do that, let's go ahead and read the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 23, because see, this is the prophecy of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It's always been fulfilled. Everybody, you know, you got some unbeliever that see that the Bible ain't worth nothing and so on and so forth, but we seeing the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua being fulfilled every single day, man. All right. So this is Joel chapter 2 and verse 28, and it says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh." Okay, and this is the Lord saying his spirit upon all flesh, meaning that he's the reason why people have dreams and visions. And you can read about that in the book of Joel. All right, matter of fact, we'll go get that. And it says, "And your sons and your daughter shall prophesy, your old man shall dream, your young man shall see vision." You see? And so that is the spirit of the Lord putting on all flesh, where he's showing you a vision that will come to pass. Okay? And then it says, "And also upon the servant and upon the handmaid," okay, those the handmaids pretty much the women, all right, "in those days I will pour out my spirit." Okay? And so another quick precept that lines up perfectly with the book of Joel, what it said, when sleep follows a man, loosely paraphrasing, when sleep follows a man. Let me look that up real quick. It's Job chapter 33 and verse 15. Okay, we'll get that. All right, because this is how the Lord, because the Lord actually, when he send a message, all right, he also send it through a vision in a dream. Okay. Job chapter 33 and verse 15, and it says, "In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep follows upon man, and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man." Okay, so that part right there. As a matter of fact, you can start at verse 14, because it said, "For when Yahweh Shem Yahushua speak is one, yet twice, yet man perceive it not." Okay, because you got sometimes when the Lord give a message, the man don't perceive it. They don't perceive it not. Like they hear this, you know. A lot of times when you got people that say, "Man, something told me to do that," that was the Lord speaking to them, but you perceive it not. Okay, and in verse 15, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, and slumbering upon the bed, then he opened the ears of man and sealeth their instructions, which also lines up perfectly with Proverbs 16:9, right? When a man devises his plan, but the Lord directs his step. Loosely paraphrasing. Jeremiah 10:23. Okay? So, without further ado, let's go ahead and play what the brother had pretty much read in that vision that the hopefully that lady had. Okay, we'll go back just a little bit.
The third dream I had like this, I saw a line of people in front of a shipping station inside of a post office.
Right there. She said she saw a line of people with a shipping station inside of a post office. So that right there, I think that'll be the title of the lesson. Like, how would the POs be utilized in a time of crisis? Okay, POs stand for post office. All right, and so I decided to. So what I asked there in a Google search, and it said during the time of martial law, how would a post office be utilized? Okay, and this is what it popped up. Okay, and it said during martial law, okay, or time of crisis, the post office would be utilized by military authorities to control information, support military operation, and attempt to maintain critical communication service in an area where civil authority had broken down. Specific ways post office may be utilized include communication control and censorship. Mail will likely be heavily censored or stopped entirely to prevent the transmission of anti-government or sensitive information. Military authority will want to control the flow of information to maintain order and security. Okay? And so the same order that you're seeing, you pretty much witnessed this. They already operate this same order, which is inside the prison system. Okay? And if you notice, like when you go to the post office and you want to drop off mail packages and stuff like that, you notice how there's a one-way in and a one-way out type of system. Like when you drive to the back of the post office, let's say if you are a customer that basically make money online and you pretty much sell, things on eBay or some similar, and you have like a online service with the post office, you don't necessarily have to go to the front. You have to go to the back, and whatever packages that you have to deliver, you just drop it off on the back dock. Okay? When you go back there, there's a one-way in and one-way out. Okay? And it's the same thing again when you walk into the post office. There's a one-way in when you walk in and one-way out. Okay? And so it makes sense how the post office pretty much caters to the military, right? Because my dad, he actually he retired from the post office about 5 years ago. And some of the stories that I heard, that he mentioned that how they cater to the military is, say for example, if the military, like if you're a military veteran and you work, like if you were in the military for 4+ years or so on and so forth, however long you've been in the military, and you decide to start work for the post office, the minute you start, you can buy back your military time. Okay, so say if you're in the military for about 7 years, all right, and you buy back your military time, then that 7 years count towards your retirement with the post office. And this is how they wheel in, the military or the vet. Okay, so it makes sense how they would utilize the post office, because they already have the veterans there, okay, to help, get this operation up and going. Okay. And so right here, when you keep reading on, it said communication and control censorship. Mail will likely be heavily censored and stopped entirely to prevent the transmission of anti-government or insensitive information. Military authority would want to control the flow of information to maintain order and security. Logistic and supply chain, the established postal infrastructure, facility, vehicle, personnel could be repurposed for military logistics, such as transporting essential goods, equipment, or official document from the governing authority. Military mail service, the post office network will be crucial for establishing and running a military postal service to mail handlers for soldiers, which is important to troop morale. Civil defense and registration. Okay, remember the brother Amar Gabar just mentioned that that the lady in her dream said that there was a shipping station. Okay, listen to this. Historically, plans have existed for the Post Office Department to assist in National Emergency Registration System. Okay, what is that? What she had a vision saying that she saw a shipping system. Okay, which is that mark of the beast, that RFID CHIP, which is the mark of the beast, including handling emergency change of address card, safety notification card for displaced person. Post office could serve as a local center for information dissemination or registration of civilians. All right, and see, that part right there could very well be where, you know, they're going to use the post office to utilize and to, you know, chip. You know, to pretty much make everybody chip, all right? You know, everybody, to force people to get that RFID CHIP, they're going to utilize the post office, okay? That's if in a crisis where, let's say, if the post office have not been destroyed in a crisis or in a national emergency, okay? So I just wanted to add to that, man, all right? So let's see what the brother said. And YouTube want to cut the video off. Let's go back to the video.
Shipping station inside of a post office. We were protesting outside of this center. There were police officers stationed outside of the post office, blocking the entrance to maintain the crowd.
So remember, he said blocking the entrance to maintain the crowd. It's easier for them to do that because there's a one-way in and one-way out. And when you notice how the post office is set up, they have the barbed wires at the top of the fence. They got the real tall fence. It's pretty much set up for them to utilize the post office, right? And that's pretty much, you know, forewarning. So when the time do happen to come, when they try to mandate the RFID CHIP, the best bet is to avoid the post office. All right, that's just. All right, so like you know, I'm you know, up early in the morning getting ready to drop the kiddos off at school and so on and so forth, getting ready to you know, head to work. But I wanted to add to that, man. So you know, that's you know, that's something big that the brother, you know, brought this out in a dream. And you know, I did a lesson about that, how they're going to utilize the post office. I did a lesson about that maybe a couple of years back. But you know, that's something that's big, man. So when it does happen, because she did say in the vision, like, definitely go back and watch the video, because he did read how the hopefully lady that wrote the letter in her vision, she basically was snatched from a school and then they drove her to the post office. So that's another precept, which that goes into Revelation chapter 2. You know, this is gonna be a quick lesson. I just wanted to add to the brother's you know, lesson. Right, this is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. It said, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." Okay, so the post office could very well be an operation that'll deliver you to a prison system, or they're already gonna use it as a registration, all right, a shipping system through the post office. You can very well see that. Okay, to cast some of you into prison that you may be tried, all right, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give you the crown of life. Okay, so you know, that's pretty much the point right there, man. I wasn't gonna make it just too long. When it said be thou faithful unto death, you know, we get Revelation 14:9, because you want to avoid getting that mark of the beast. All right, Revelation 13:16, when it says he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell, say that he have the mark or the number of the name. You know, Luke is paraphrasing, right? And so this is how they're going to do it, man. This is one of their many operations on how they're going to force people to get their RFID CHIP. Okay, but anybody that bow down to the devil, this is going to be your penalty. Revelation 14:9, and it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angel and in the presence of the Lamb." And it says, "And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they they have no rest day nor night who worships the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth his mark and his name. Okay? And so, if you happen to be, fortunate enough to avoid the post office, it'd be best in those day and time, especially when Esau, Edom, so-called white man, the devil, all right, forced that RFID CHIP on the whole world, pretty much the whole population. Okay, so that's pretty much the point. Lord willing, is edifying with that. Let me give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who were well in teaching us the truth, 100% securely. Shalom, shalom, Kwam Yasharala, shalom.